Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the workshop on soft skills organized by the Entrepreneurship Cell. So before we begin the workshop, I'd like to give a brief introduction about our chief guest here, Mr. Piyush Singhal. He's an MSc in psychology and has had a vibrant career in Wipro, IBM, and is a soft skill trainee and a project leader. And he's presently a delivery partner with HP. Without much delay, I'd like to call upon Mr. Singhal for the workshop. Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much for the welcome. I'm very grateful to all these participants who have come in. But before I start, I would like to highlight a few factors and then we can move on. See, this is not a classroom. This is more of a discussion forum where I would like one-on-one interaction with the students or the participants sitting out here. And what all things we are looking at in the particular session. Anything specific, we can talk about it. But first of all, can we all sit down fast?
Problem to me, camera.
Can we start? Yes. Okay. As per the brief interaction with Kratika has been, I would say, a very dynamic student who has been always involved in extracurricular activities and the areas where I have been in touch with her at the college ITM, where she was one of the trainees out there. But today the requirement and the need is something different. When we all are here, all are looking forward to a career. As in we all are in post-graduation and we want ourselves to settle down in corporates where we can get a bright future. I hope all those students who are sitting here, we want a job after MBA. How many of you want a job after MBA? You want a campus placement or you want to go ahead and get employed, right? Majority of you. Can you tell me, if I say those factors which are required today to get employed, or those things which you require to get a good career, what can they be?
Good communication skills.
Good communication skills. Okay.
Personality.
Attributes. Attitude. All right. Attitude. I take it as a point. Attitude.
Personality.
Good personality. All right. Good wide scope of knowledge. All right. Technical skills. All right. Fifth. Anything else?
Eagerness to learn.
Sorry.
Eagerness to learn.
Eagerness to learn, or I would say willingness or the attitude to learn. Again. Anything else apart from this? Adaptive in nature. Yeah. Okay. Anything else apart from this? Positive attitude. Again, as he said, attitude. Then positive attitude is one dimension which comes out from attitude. All right. Now, when I say you all understand that these are the requirements to get employed. Today, I'll start off my session with some basic facts about, as many of you would be eyeing at being an entrepreneur, right? And when this session is being conducted under Entrepreneurship Cell, so I would like to start off with it. I'll just take a brief. I'll show you one small video clip. It is, have you heard about Guy Kawasaki? Anybody out there? You've heard about it? What is the background? What is the background of that gentleman? Any idea?
When he has put forward 10, 20, 30.
10, 20 and
30.
I would say this gentleman was earlier, today he is a personality who helps the companies to start off, but earlier he was a chief engineer with Apple Systems, and later he was also working with Yahoo. Heard about Yahoo? Yeah. What he says on entrepreneurship, something very important facts, and then we'll just do a discussion and we'll start off with the other areas which we are today looking at. Contents today which we are going to cover up. First, we start off with entrepreneurship. Second, you would need some overview on CV making. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, great. We'll go around and talk about what are the important details which can be covered up in a CV or a resume, and then we can move our focus towards interviews as requested by a few of your batchmates that we want some inputs on interviews, how to handle questions, how to handle interview, and other areas. So, alright, let me just play the video first, and then we'll talk about it.
The first thing I figured out and learned, sometimes the hard
Is
way,
it audible?
about entrepreneurship is that the core, the essence of entrepreneurship is about making meaning. Many people start companies to make money. The quick flip, the dot-com phenomenon. And I have noticed in both the companies that I've started and funded and been associated with, that those companies that are
Alright, this was one of the interactions which he had in Stanford University. I'll just try to take out a small clip. Let's see what he says, and then we'll do a discussion.
The first thing I figured out and learned, sometimes the hard way, about entrepreneurship is that the core, the essence of entrepreneurship is about making meaning. Many people start companies to make money. The quick flip, the dot-com phenomenon. And I have noticed in both the companies that I've started and funded and been associated with, that those companies that are fundamentally founded to change the world, to make the world a better place, to make meaning, are the companies that make a difference. They are the companies to succeed. My naive and romantic belief is that if you make meaning, you will probably make money. But if you set out to make money, you will probably not make meaning and you won't make money. So my first thought is you need to make meaning. That should be the core of why you start a company. There are three ways to make meaning. First is to increase the quality of life. My background is the Macintosh division of Apple Computer, and I can tell you with total certainty that we were not motivated by making money. We were motivated by changing the world to make people more creative and more productive. We were trying to increase the quality of life for the Macintosh user. And that was a great motivation. It kept us going through many difficult periods. We were waking up in the morning thinking how we could change people's lives. A second way to make meaning is to right a wrong. You know, this fish is going to die after jumping out. But to right a wrong means that you find something that's wrong in the world, or you notice something's wrong, or you want to fix that. This might be particularly applicable to not-for-profits where there's pollution, or there's crime, or there's abuse, and their very core is to end that wrong. And the third way to make meaning is to prevent the end of something good. That you see something beautiful, something wonderful, and you just can't stand the fact that it's being eroded, it's being changed, it's being ruined. So I ask you, as you start your companies, your not-for-profits, your churches, your schools, whatever you're starting, please have one of those three motivations, one or more of those motivations. If you don't have any of those motivations, I suggest that you rethink what you're doing. I think these three things are the key to starting a great organization.
I hope you would have got an idea that what is starting up a new venture all about. See, this gentleman has got an expertise in starting up a lot of ventures, and what he talks about is three factors. See, today we start up a company, we start up any venture, and we think that our basic objective is to earn money and grow. But if that is the objective, that is what he says is, then we need to have, and we might need to think that are we doing something right? If not, then what are the factors which are important when you start up a new venture? He says that first of all, you need to make meaning. Means if you are making meaning to someone's life, to the society, to the country, or to yourself, that means you are doing something which is required today. And second, today I think so all the good things which were there earlier are actually vanishing, right? That is why government is there to save the monuments, to save all those things which are there, which exist as I would say a symbol of olden days. That is one example. But if I say all those good things which are today, which exist in our day-to-day life, वो भी जो खत्म हो रही हैं, they are moving out. We are trying to save, and those companies which are involved today, he talks about Apple, he talks about Yahoo. What he says is that when we were trying to develop a OS Macintosh, we had several challenges, and those challenges were altogether related to the user interface, or I would say all those areas which can make the particular typography great. That is what the idea was. And today when I say these factors should be kept in mind, then these are basics. I would say these are basics, because kahin na kahin, if you feel that you can bring that change in the environment, you can bring that change in that particular forum, then I think so you are doing right job. And starting off a particular company might be difficult at the beginning, but if you have this concept in mind that you will bring change, you will bring meaning to the life, then I think so you might take some time, but later on down the line you will definitely do good, because you should have an objective. An objective should not relate to money. See, money defocuses the entire objective of starting up a new venture. So everybody wants to earn money and shortcuts mile, so everybody is happy. But I think so these shortcuts will lead you to a result which will end very soon. And when you have a long road, it is human nature, we never think about future. Human nature की आदत है कि हम future के बारे में कभी नहीं सोचते. And people, all those people who learn from their past, manage their future, plan their future, and live in present, they are very dangerous. They are very dangerous. Why? Because again, all these three tenses, I would say, should be properly organized. And when I say, when it comes to starting up a business, starting up a venture, starting up an organization, you should have one thing in mind. Let's create that difference. And if you are a difference creator, you don't need to worry about money. Money is, I would say, a byproduct. When you are doing something meaningful, money will automatically flow in, right? That's something you don't need to worry about it. And today, all the companies, big companies, are trying to, create a system which is, I would say, self-sustainable. कहीं पे efforts ना लगाना पड़े, एक chain बन जाए and things work on of their own. And that is what the idea should be. We can talk lot on entrepreneurship, but let's move on to the other areas which we require more. And today the objective of a session is to give you an overview, an idea that are these skills important, and if they are important, then where do we stand? Now, I would just like to get an overview. How many of you are from a technical background before MBA? Done BTech BE? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I ask you all, what is it as a target company after MBA? Anybody has a target company? Are you targeting at any company? Any particular company? No? No idea? Have you ever given it a thought? किसी ने कभी सोचा भी हो कि I would like to join this company as a starting of my career?
IBM,
IBM. Why IBM?
because it is a global company and
See, I would start the interview part right from there. First question which I asked was why IBM? कोई भी कंपनी में एक इंडिविजुअल जो बैठेगा इंटरव्यू देने, कंपनी ये जरूर जानना चाहेगी कि तुम्हें कंपनी क्यों ज्वाइन करना चाहता है. It's very clear. It's very simple. You are sitting for any campus. The first question which comes is why IBM, why Infosys, or whatever company it is. And if you answer that company is globally present, it is one of the big multinationals, it's a brand name, it attracts me. I have always dreamt about IBM, then I would say you need to wake up. Why? Because कहते हैं ना, जिस चीज के बारे में और the thing which we want to start off, we want to get associated with, then I think so right from A to Z we should be aware about it. And when your answer is this, then it means theory. Then it means complete theory. And they don't need theory. They need data, facts and figures. And if you say that IBM is a company, in the recent past, I have seen that it has grown tremendously. The past quarter result says that IBM has even grown up to 1.3 billion crores in the past quarter results. And apart from that, IBM is a company which has more than 1,60,000 employees working presently in the country. And globally, they have more than 8 lakh employees. Now you are giving the database and the facts which company would like to hear. And once they hear this, that means company feels that the gentleman or the candidate who is sitting there, he is eager to join my company. Now, देखो, what is interview? Interview is just a process to understand whether the candidate will be fruitful for my organization or not. उसके लिए कहीं स्टैम्प पेपर पे रिटर्न नहीं होता है या सर्टिफाई नहीं करती है आपका इंस्टीट्यूट कि yes you are a candidate who can be a fruitful asset to the organization, right? So once you don't have any certification, once you don't have any kind of proof, then you just have to ensure that the process of that interview turns out to be what you desire of, right? And moreover, see, interview it's all about how you deal with the questions, how you make the HR person understand that you have what goal a company has and what the goal you have meet out, and they have the same destination, right? Might not be the same destination, but they link up with each other, right? All right, now let's start with CV making, right? What is the full form of CV?
Circular resume.
Curriculum vitae. But before I start off, I have a question. What is the difference between CV, resume and biodata? Yeah.
so CV is for those who are non-experienced and resume for those who are experienced and biodata is just for the personal information.
Biodata is just for the personal information. Is she correct? Yes, no?
Yes.
Do we agree?
Yes.
All right. Yes, I would say what she is trying to say is correct. But there are specifications under each category. When I say CV is always created by a fresher, right? Who's trying to get into the industry. Second, resume. The word resume in itself speaks that it actually means, अगर आप डिक्शनरी में उठा के देखोगे, you'll get to know meaning is summary, right? Summary about your. When I say summary is just a word, but when it comes to profession, any individual who's been a professional or experienced person writes about the entire summary of his experience, right? there can be different categories, we can discuss later. Next, biodata. Biodata for
Marital purposes.
majorly matrimonial purposes. Anybody has created biodata? No? Alright, nobody plans to marry soon. Great. Now, Krishna has created?
No, those are not jobs.
I guess we want to marry a company soon as of now, but we don't look great. Let's move ahead. Now, CV. What can be the basic headings or headers? But anybody who is an experienced candidate out there, who has worked, who has got some work experience in his profile? What kind of work?
It's like in 3 different companies.
Sorry?
It's like in 3 different companies.
3 different companies. So what are they?
It's like one with the Wipro KPI.
Okay.
Second was an assistant for a temporary project.
Okay.
Then was as a coordinator, like technical coordinator.
Technical coordinate. Okay. Great. Now, a person who has got, I would say, experience in his folio will definitely create a resume. But majorly, we will today discuss about CV. Now, what are the headings? What are the headers which come under a CV as a document? Sorry? Objectives. Acha. What else? Sorry? Academic brief. Okay. What else?
Name.
Sorry? Trainings and internships. Alright. Sorry?
Project exposure.
Industry exposure. Alright, I take it as a point. What else?
Projects.
Projects. So projects, can I bring it under summer internship and the other trainings? Right? Anything else? Extracurricular. Okay.
Achievements.
Achievements. Alright. Any other category?
Name.
Sorry?
Skills and area of interest.
Skills and area of interest. Okay.
There are
Name.
Personal details section. Okay, I take it as a point. Strengths. Okay. Weaknesses?
No.
No? Only strengths?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Declaration.
Declaration. Any other category? Sorry?
Photographs can be also.
Photograph can also be included. Alright. See, today what we'll discuss will be a standard format. Keeping logics and the reason behind. मैं हर एक heading के पीछे आपको एक logic बताऊंगा, right? And if it justifies, put it in a CV, right? Let's see what it says. All right. Now tell me first one question before I start. What is the objective behind a CV, or what is the objective of a CV?
To get a
To get a job? CV का objective है to get a job. Job दिलाना CV का objective है. Yes, no.
yes.
Sorry. Okay, you say no. Rest we all agree?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
CV job दिलाता है, नहीं दिलाता है, दिलाता है.
No.
50-50. Yes, it gets you a job. Objective of creating a CV is to get you a job. Yeah. Half majority says yes, some of you say no. Can I understand why no?
Sir, CV is it's just an interface. So it's just showing a personality, what kind of person will fit in for an interview.
Okay.
Just give a glimpse of personality or what interviewer has. Interviewer get the idea, but the page itself, what to ask him, what to not to ask. Is this suitable for our interview?
All right. Anyone else? Apart from, he says that it is just an interface between the candidate and the HR. Yeah.
What I feel is the CV is just a mirror of yourself in front of the organization. So
Alright.
it can have different motives according to the candidate. Some can come for the job, other may have other reasons. So it's just the mirror of a person
Okay.
in that.
Mirror of your image or your background. Anything else? Sorry? Anything else?
To get attraction from the employees,
To get attracted from the employers.
from the eyes of the HR.
Okay. See, objective of a CV is not to get you a job. अगर CV ही job दिलाता तो मेरे ख्याल से हर कंपनी की email IDs हैं, email IDs पे CV भेजते हो, घर ऑफर लेटर आ जाता. That is how it should happen, right? But ऐसा नहीं होता है. CV का सिर्फ एक I would say task है.
CV.
If it gets you shortlisted, CV has done its job. CV has done its job. Means apart from campus, जब campus के बाहर आप जाते हैं, within campus companies know that you are a triple ITM student. But once you move out, as an individual, who you are, where do you stand, that is a proof, that is CV. And when I say CV, I will term it as a marketing document. I will term it as a marketing document. Or to elaborate more, I would say ये फोन है, अगर ये पर्टिकुलर फोन है, अगर मार्केट में खरीदने जाओगे तो इसका ब्रोशर आता है, देखा है ना? Yes, it has a brochure. Similarly, that brochure has all those qualities and all those, I would say, attributes which this phone particularly has. Similarly, it is your brochure. How well you design it, how well you define your experience, that is what is counted. Okay, so how do we create effective CVs? We'll understand today. Headers, as you said, there were 7-8 headers which you all discussed. Let's see what are the important headings which can come in a CV. We started off, as someone said, objective. What kind of objective? Can it be career objective?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Why do we bring career objective in a CV?
To show the company how focused we are.
To show the company how focused we are. Alright.
So that the company can see that we are in sync with their goals as well.
Alright, we are in sync with their goals and our goals. Alright, we want to show that sync. But when I say career objective, career objective, I personally say it is not required. And why? Because career objective में आप लिखते क्या हो? You write that my desire or my inhibition is to get a position in a particular MNC which gives me regular growth and challenges, and you talk about different areas which you desire of. But क्या आपको लगता है कि career objective जो particularly वहाँ आप mention करते हो उससे आपको cross questions नहीं आएंगे? कई बार ऐसा होता है कि पूरा इंटरव्यू का एक राउंड career objective पे निकल जाता है, and they actually try to find out what was the reason behind writing that. If that reason is correct, then let's find out, does the candidate actually mean that what he has written? Right? So career objective, I would say a person, if you are ready to handle, if you are ready to define it properly, you can put it there. Otherwise, avoid putting in career objective. First. Second, when I talk about academic qualification has a category, means उसके अंदर कुछ sub headings होंगे, which I show you in the next slide. Second will be co-curricular activities. I would like to ask a question. What is the difference between co-curricular and extracurricular? Yeah. Difference between co-curricular and extracurricular?
Co-curricular is like it's a part of your curricular but not in the curricular. But extracurricular is outside. It's something you do other than a part of your curricular.
Yes, absolutely correct. When I say co-curricular is something which is not academics, but it is in relation to academics. And when I say extracurricular is something which has no relation to academics. It is something outside the classroom, right? So we have co-curricular, extracurricular. Now, I would like to understand, being an MBA student, what does the term summer internship mean? Summer internship.
Co-curricular.
Alright, to learn the environment of a company. Yeah? Any other, I would say, you would like to elaborate on?
Make your feel better, like if you opt for HR and if you meet with HR in a company, you will better understand things practically.
Alright.
To apply the knowledge learned in the classrooms into the organization.
Alright. Anything else? What, have we started applying for summer internships?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Alright. Now see, as a fresher, this is the most highlighted section of the CV. First, right? The kind of internship you do will define where you will go in upcoming 2 years, as in after your graduation, post graduation, where will you lead. Now a person who does an internship in relevance to the field or the background he or she is from, means if a person is from finance, or finance is the particularly area which you look at, then your internship should definitely be in relation to finance, right? Now when I say internship may whatever things you do, and I would say the practical implementation which happens at the level of joining or the interface between you and the company, right? You have to highlight it in such a manner where the person feels that yes, the candidate has those skills or the abilities which we are looking at today, right? And when I move into the section of position of responsibility, why we have taken this section separately? Because position of responsibility is a category where you all, I think so, you all have been involved in many extracurricular activities. You would have been a coordinator, you would have been an event manager, you would have been an organizer for something, or you might have been a member of a society or any particular area. So when I say position of responsibility, this is a particular section which as an HR I would like to scan, because कहीं ना कहीं ये बताता है कि apart from academics, apart from books, I was more into this, right? And that shows that how enterprising that person is, right? अगर आपने कभी ये कोशिश नहीं की है कि apart from classroom you should take responsibilities, you should get involved into other activities which showcases your profile, then I think so this section will be a concern for you, right? And all those people who have been involved into something which is outside the classroom, they are very, very dynamic, I would say very enterprising in nature, and people identify them standing 10 feet apart, right? That is the difference. And today, when these skills are required by corporates, because they don't want an individual to sit on the chair and work 24/7. Once he comes into office, he sits, he works and goes back. They want a person who can be a leader, who can be a team player, who can be a good worker, who can be a productive employee, and who can even be an all-rounder, right? That is what is required today. So this section is very much in relation to those attributes. Next, interest or hobby. Why I asked you to include this is because again, people might have interest which is relevant to their field, or which might even come out as a different interest of area of interest, so we can even. But what is the difference between interest and hobby? Anybody? Interest and hobby, any difference? Can you specify? Difference between interest and hobby? Any idea? Hobby is something which we do in our spare time. And what is interest?
Interest is something you usually do, you can be interested in that. Means it's nothing that you have to specially do in the spare time only.
Or it's nothing specific that you have to do in spare time. Okay. See, I would term it, there's only very simple difference. Hobby is something, let's say my schedule is very tight, in a week, on Saturday I got free early. So what I do, I pick up a book, I start reading before going to bed. It gives me a tight sleep, it gives me knowledge, and my hobby is also been involved. But when I say interest comes from here. Passion, right? That desire to do that particular job comes from here. And when I say it comes from here, that means आपके CV या resume में showcase करना होगा. If you say that cricket is my interest, if you say that let's say painting is my interest, then you would definitely have done something on national level, city level, state level, or any other levels. Because interest के लिए time मिलता नहीं है. You take out time, right? And that is what the major difference is, right, between interest and hobby. So let's understand what are the sections which are there, or the category, if I go under sub bullets, right? But apart from this, there are few more details which you need to be prepared with, what are they? Covering letter. Do we all know how to write good cover letters? Have you ever tried to write a cover letter?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
In classes, have you learned how to write cover letters?
No, sir.
No. In business communication? No.
Yes, yes.
Yes, no. Come on.
Yes.
You cannot be in dilemma something which is relevant to your field. Huh? Yes, tell me. Have you learned about cover letters? Something about cover letters? Acha, what is cover letter? What is a cover letter?
Cover letter is a resume of your resume.
Resume of your resume. There is something very contradictory. Anything else? What is a cover letter? If you can just simplify it.
Introduction to your CV or resume.
Introduction to your CV. Yes, very true. It is simply an introduction to your CV. Cover letter is something I would say. अगर आपको मैं एक example देता हूँ corporates में how it works. अगर मेरे पास 2000 वैकेंसीज हैं in a company named IBM, आपको क्या लगता है उसके लिए कितनी applications आएंगी?
2 lakhs.
Huh?
2 lakhs.
How many? Yes, something like that. 2 lakhs, 1.5 lakhs, whatever, depending on the location and the kind of profile they are offering. आपको क्या लगता है HR का बंदा वहाँ बैठा है उन 200 प्रोफाइल्स को 2 लाख प्रोफाइल्स को खोल के चेक करने के लिए? No. They have a process. बहुत बड़ा सिंपल सा प्रोसेस है फिल्ट्रेशन, राइट? जॉब कोड मैच करता है, सब्जेक्ट लाइन मैच करती है, इन इनबॉक्स अदरवाइज ट्रैश. आधे से ज्यादा सीवीज तो वहीं ट्रैश में चले जाते हैं बिकॉज दे डोंट नो हाउ टू write an email, they don't know how to put in job code, subject line and all these basic things. Second, once you have matched out that criteria, then second comes the cover letter, right? How well have you designed your cover letter? How well have you introduced? Because होता क्या है कि जब कैंपस में कंपनीज आती हैं, you have a one-on-one interaction, right? But later on, once we talk about you apply directly, वो कवर लेटर्स ही होते हैं जो एक इंप्रेशन क्रिएट करते हैं एंड व्हेन दे फील दैट यस आई शुड मीट द कैंडिडेट एंड वंस द कवर लेटर एंड सीवीज पुट इन गुड इंप्रेशन देन इज व्हेन यू स्टार्ट गेटिंग कॉल्स एंड बिलीव मी हो सकता है कि कैंपस में आपको अच्छा प्लेसमेंट मिले, हो सकता है कि वैसा ना मिले जो आप डिजायर कर रहे हो, देन दिस विल कम इनटू पिक्चर. इफ यू वांट एन ऑफर which is something good according to you, then you need to know how to write good emails, good cover letters and create good CV, right? Because these all documents are the only documents which create a good impression and then is when you get a call from the company. Okay, next, if a job requires you to fly abroad, then you need passport information, that is only passport number, that's it. वो भी जब आप अपने CV में डालेंगे if job requires you travel abroad. Okay. Third, personal details. Something I would say, what all things come under personal details?
Name, telephone number,
Name,
Address.
telephone number,
email ID,
email ID. Okay.
age,
And age, gender. All right. 5. Anything else? Marital status, present address. Anything else? Father's name. Anything else? Languages known. All right. 10. Any other detail? Sorry. Date of birth. All right. Date of birth. 11. Any other detail? Nationality? No. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. 12. Height, weight. या देख सिंपल सा फंडा है. लोग कहते हैं जेंडर, मैरिटल स्टेटस, योर फादर्स नेम, ब्लड ग्रुप, ऑल दीस थिंग्स. या देख जब कंपनी में जाएगा ना किसी तो वहाँ पे गार्ड एक ब्लेड लेके नहीं खड़ा होगा, लेट मी चेक इस ब्लड ग्रुप, तभी कंपनी में एंटर करने देंगे. हाँ, ऐसा नहीं होता है. या ये उनका फोकस नहीं होता है कि बंदा सिंगल है या डाइवोर्सी है या मैरिड है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. जॉब में what is required is few details which are very mandatory, and apart from that all those details which we have discussed or the 12 details which you are giving it, I would say they are irrelevant in a CV. 5 important details under personal details section can be name, can be contact number, can be email ID, your corresponding address. Okay, corresponding address, and the fifth, date of birth. That's it. Your personal details section completes, and you don't require any other detail apart from this. Is that clear? Yes. References आपको CV में मेंशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर कंपनी डिमांड करती है कि आपको 2 रेफरेंसेस बताने इन द CV, देन यू पुट इन. अदरवाइज रेफरेंसेस हर एक इंडिविजुअल को अपने प्रिपेयर्ड रखने हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज जब भी कोई कंपनी आएगी, कैंपस आएगा, यू हैव अ फॉर्म और कंपनी फिल्स अप, गेट्स अ फॉर्म फिल्ड फ्रॉम यू, देन यू नीड टू पुट इन 2 रेफरेंसेस आउट देयर. एंड दोज रेफरेंसेस कैन बी, who can be your reference?
Maybe the concerned faculties.
Concerned faculties, okay.
Known associates in the organization.
Known associates in the organization. Can be anybody from your family?
No.
Yes, no.
No, yes.
Blood group can never be a reference. Blood relation, right? People who are related to you, as in a family member or a friend, they can never be your reference. Second, reference can only be a person in your case, आपके case में, a person who knows you from, I would say, couple of years, as in your faculties, your HODs, or your heads, directors, all those people who know you, who can talk about you, they can be your reference. And in this case, बहुत सारे ऐसे ज्वाइनीज होते हैं जिनकी ज्वाइनिंग्स होल्ड पे चली जाती है बिकॉज रेफरेंस चेक सही नहीं होता. राइट? सो बी प्रिपेयर्ड विद योर रेफरेंसेस एंड टेक प्रायर परमिशन फ्रॉम देम, क्योंकि परमिशन लेने से क्या होता है कि द इंडिविजुअल गेट्स बाउंडेड टू टॉक गुड अबाउट थिंग्स. राइट? अदरवाइज हो सकता है कि कुछ ऐसा भी बोल दें जो जरूरत ना हो. राइट? सो टेक प्रायर परमिशन, इट गिव्स यू अ लाइसेंस. ओके, नेक्स्ट.
I have doubt. Like if you talk about references, for XYZ organization, can be the references of any other organization, like even if we
See, in your case, I would say, being a fresher, your reference can be the person who knows you.
yeah,
right.
like in where we do internship, suppose we do not
Yes.
join there.
From where you have done your internship, that can be your reference, right? But I would say a strong reference will be a gentleman, will be a person who knows you from long time, right? Can be an academic person, can be from your graduation, right? They can. Next, academic qualification के अंदर कौन सी ऐसी कैटेगरीज और कौन सी ऐसी डिटेल्स हैं, we keep in mind. First, it should be in chronological order. Do you know what is chronological order? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
What comes first? Recent. The recent comes first and the last comes last. That is what is chronological order. Next, ranks and distinctions. If you have any rank, distinction in the college level, university level, board level, that can also be highlighted. Scholarships. Have you received any scholarships? Anybody out there?
No.
No? Alright. Tabular format. Educational qualification can come under a table. Why? I'll show you a sample scene. JEE rank. Have you got anybody good JEE rank? Sorry?
IIT.
Yes. Anybody has got a JEE rank, good rank? Yes.
EMI.
Okay. So what was your rank?
10,000.
Okay. See, this is a critical area. I would say if you can handle questions related to this, then put it in your CV. Otherwise, you can even avoid it. People who have got JEE rank, then the HR has the direct question related to your academic details, right? Because अगर आपने let's say BE किया है किसी particular college से and being a good or you got a good rank, then why didn't you opt for other college? Or what is it that made you select that college? Then they try to dig, they try to drill. Okay. Next, board achievements. Any kind of achievements which is related to board, college, they can come in.
Yes.
Co-curricular activities. Some of the examples can be Olympiads. Have you participated in Olympiads? Anybody? School level. Olympiads. Have you achieved something in Olympiads? or just a participation?
The participation was there, but yeah.
Okay. NTSC, anybody who appeared for NTSC? Alright. Highest mark achievement? Certifications. Any kind of training program, any kind of certification you do, that can come under co-curricular. And apart from this, under co-curricular, you can even bring up paper presentations. Anybody who has presented some papers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Those paper presentations can also come under co-curricular. Summer internship. See, when you define your summer internship section, right, the first bullet, you don't need to write this heading, right? The first bullet should be the objective of doing the project, right, or the internship. आपको ये बताना ज़रूरी है that what was the idea behind doing that internship. Okay, let's say an engineering graduate who does an internship in networking, right? Networking was the background. So that objective can be, my objective of doing the internship or the project was to enable or enhance the security system of the organization or the particular lab, and enhancing that security system enabled me to work in this technology or under this domain. So here you are defining the objective. Learnings. What were the learnings from the project or the internship? You can define that properly. And last, achievements from the project. Okay, what were your achievements? What did you, many of you or some might even get PPOs. You know what are PPOs? Yes, pre-placement offers. You can even get an appreciation letter. You can even get certified. So that can work as an achievement. Okay. Next, position of responsibility. When I say what was the position, what initiative you took while you were handling that position, right? You definitely, let's say you were a organizer or you were the sole member of a particular community, or let's say a particular society. Now, being at that position, what kind of initiatives you took to facilitate things, to make it better? You need to mention those initiatives, right? Third, achievements of the position. What were the achievements? People, let's say you were highlighted, people gave you, or kind of organization gave you a certificate, they gave you appreciation letter, that can also be an achievement. And how many members in a group you handled, right? That can also come under this category. Not necessarily, but if you have handled a good amount of people, you can bring it there.
Excuse me. Like for position of responsibilities, it's not that we mention all the projects under this heading. And for various projects, a person can have various responsibilities. So like it is individually regarded to the project, or means like you have mentioned in a second.
When I say position of responsibility, that means in your, let's say, BE, BTech or your MBA, you might have been involved into different activities, right? Let's say you have position of a coordinator, you have a position of a team leader, you have a position of a finance head under particular category. Now, out of these all three positions, which one was the good one and you were actually involved in that position, right? So you can write that particular position and define it like this. And rest of the positions can come under bullets. You don't need to define about those positions, but write down positions because it shows that you can shoulder responsibilities, right? And that is what the person wants to see. Is that clear? Yes? Next, extracurricular activities. What can come under extracurricular? Competitions, articles, sports and debates. And some of them can be, if when you were in engineering, you can even bring in NCC if anybody has been a part. You can even bring in any social welfare or any organization you are associated with for the social cause. You can even bring that out here in extracurricular, right? And one more thing, अगर academic achievement और co-curricular achievements में there was something which you achieved and you outperformed many candidates. Let's say you achieved rank 1 in the semester 1, right? Out of how many candidates did you outperform? How many of them you outperformed actually? Mention that number also, because that highlights that how good were you in that particular area. Okay, so always mention that number if it is there, if it is a good number or the position is really good. Is that clear? Next, interest and hobbies. I don't have any particular example for this, so you have to decide on your own. Find it out. Where does your interest lie and where does your hobby, or as in particular, yeah.
Sir, what interviewer actually expect out of our hobbies?
See, hobby पूछने का मकसद क्या हो सकता है? Let's say a candidate who has been good in painting, sketching, right? Now painting and sketching has no relevance with the job profile where you are applying for. So the candidate wants to understand, or the HR wants to understand, that particularly if this is the particular activity the individual is interested in, then what is the interest level? Has the individual mentioned it just for the sake of mentioning it as a hobby, or the candidate has done something in that particular area? Now many of you write reading novels or reading books. Now the next question under hobby section comes is that which is the recent book you read? Which is the recent book you read? And can you tell me just a gist about that book? अगर आपने ऐसे ही लिख दिया है, then I think so you're gone. You have a serious problem, and the person will drag you to ground zero because you have tried to play with the information which is fake, right? So never enter any kind of detail which is fake out there in the scene. Is that clear?
One more thing.
Yeah.
Like you talk about interest.
Yeah.
Interest is which we're passionate about.
Absolutely.
So hobbies means are different. So like if you talk about interest, yes, you said you love what you do. So like we are building a CVs. So like what other interests we can mention? Hobbies like
See,
I love
that I would say, if you have not been able to identify your interest, then it might take some time. You need to think over it. What is it that interests you?
Okay.
It can be, let's say, many people are very interested in philately, coin collection, stamp collection. That's their interest.
Okay.
That's the area. So, is it just for the sake of collection, or you have a keen interest out there?
Okay.
Let's say people have interest in playing cricket. Now, cricket, if it is an interest, I would say you would definitely have played state level, city level, or national levels, right? So, interest in itself speaks. So, you have to categorically, if you mention it as interest, then it should speak on its own. Is that clear? Right? How many of you have created your CVs? Are we second semester mein? Because you would be applying for internships? Yeah? Okay. Do you want me to show you a sample CV?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have removed the personal details about the candidate. He is one of the students, a trainee with us from IIT Roorkee, right? What is this CV cum resume, I would say, says? You can go through it. This is what I say, a tabular format, right? Chronological order. So always mention your academic details in tabular format so that it is easy to understand what have you done in your academics from last 20 years or so.
Could you please put it?
This is just a one-pager CV. This is just a one-pager CV. Ideally, we should create one pager, but if it can stretch up to 2, that is okay. But try and keep it to 1. Now, in the CV or particularly CV, I would say space management plays a very important role. Right? Don't try to unnecessarily stretch the CV. Utilize the space whatever you can up to an extent. And when I say these kind of achievements, do we have something to write like this, or something wherein we can fill up or justify the particular section? Yes? How many, I would say, how many bullets do we have under each category? Have we done an analysis right now of in the previous sessions?
So like it depends in academic qualifications I have few, but if we talk about achievements in extracurricular and co-curricular I have like more than 5 to 6. So
okay. In extracurricular, we have been participating in the different activities. Yes, no. In co-curricular, have you participated in any kind of programs or certifications, or let's say scholarships, or even I talk about paper presentation? Have you got something into our folio?
yes.
Yes? Alright, great. Now, when you see this particular CV, you can see that there are a lot of areas which are highlighted in bold letters. These are called keywords. They are called keywords. And I can even give you a PDF, I can share a PDF with you, which has more than 300 keywords, more than 300 action verbs, which are specifically designed for resume or a CV, right? You can see this is a one-page CV, that's it. If I start off, I talk about personal detail section. Personal detail का कोई भी एक section specifically नहीं आएगा. आप उसको categorically mention नहीं करोगे, but how will you mention? You will write your name out here at the top. Below that you can write your address in 2 lines and write parallel to it. Parallel to name, you can write your date of birth. Parallel to your address, first line you can write your contact number, and the second line you can write your email ID. So first 3 lines your personal details are over. You don't need 25% of a page to define your personal details. Is that clear? Right? So everything should be properly designed and managed. That is what actually makes a CV impressive. Okay?
Like in this CV, there is a declaration possibility.
There is no declaration. So what you can do, declaration की अगर जगह नहीं है, if you put your name at the right hand corner and you sign the document, it automatically authenticates that you have verified that all the details which are mentioned in the CV are authentic. Okay? So these can be the words which you can use as a keyword. These are some of them. You can see if you use certain kind of passive words which don't show any action in your extracurricular, co-curricular, internship column, then somehow it misses out that charisma or that charm, right? So you can bring in these words to define your achievements or the activities which you have been involved in. Okay. So, any doubts on the CV? Any questions?
What?
Photograph is not required because it takes unnecessary of space. But yes, if a company needs you to put in a photograph, then you can put in a passport size photograph, not a problem, right? And that can be also on the right hand corner. Okay.
So what is the preferred font that we use? Like
Preferred font can be, I would say, Calibri. You can even use. Yes, you can use that. But try and keep this particular font size is 10, right? And it is easily readable. Okay. Next, headings can be kept up to 11 or maximum 12. That's it. Right. Try and avoid using colors in the CV. Keep it simple. Black, grey can be maximum, can be the color. That's it. Any other question related to CVs?
I have one doubt. Like we have on any competition and we have not a certificate, should we write or not?
Very good question. I would say this question always arises in a CV making session, that I have done an activity and I have not got any certificate under that section. So should we write it in a CV or not? Very simple, sir. I would say an example. Once you enter a interview room, you say that you know how to code, how to write codes. C++ is your forte. Now, if an individual says that I have done a certified program from Microsoft on C++. Now, when you say that, the person says that write a code, I want you to write a code, and the paper is handed over and you are not able to write a code, then I think so that certification goes to ground zero. And similarly, a person who has not got a certificate but has confidence enough that he can write a code, he himself is a certificate. That's how it is. So anything which you can prove inside the interview room and you are confident about it, bindas can be used, not a problem. But yes, anything which you cannot prove, you have a problem, then I think so kahin na kahin you should avoid writing it. Any other question related to CVs? Yes, no?
Like, is there any civil building website?
Sorry?
Like, you can cross list, like, you can cross check our CV whether it's good or not.
See, I would say, अगर आप जितने options में जाओगे, Google पे अगर CV का search डालोगे ना, तो मेरे ख्याल से 500 formats मिलेंगे, और हर format एक दूसरे different होगा, right? But when I say a CV का format, these are the standard details which you can put in, and they are the most required and the most highlighted sections. So you can even write many things. यार आप अपनी strength, कोई कहता है मैं strengths भी लिख सकता हूँ, कोई कहता है कि I can even talk about my managerial skills, कोई कहता है I can write about attributes. There can be n number of sections there. But when I say standard and the required details, they can be the one, right? Anything else about CVs? Yeah, done? Should we move ahead?
Yes.
Yes? Alright.
So when we apply for internships and when we apply for placements, so there should be some differences.
See, when you apply for, I would say, अगर आपने एक document create किया है CV, is it relevant for all the companies you apply?
No.
It should be different for
Every company should have a different CV. Why? Because it should match out the eligibility criteria, it should match out the profile, and it should match out the key skills required in a candidate given by the company, right? So when you say that when we apply for a summer internship and we apply for a company, right, both are different things. So summer internship के लिए जब आप apply करते हो, then your projects should be highlighted, and when you have done the summer internship and you apply for a job, then your summer internship should be highlighted, right? Any other question? Yeah. Personal interview. I would just take a 10-minute session and then we can even wind off. I can give you a list of questionnaire. What can be the most probable questions in an interview? For an MBA grad, I would say few of the questions can be. Okay, I would like to just take up this particular section. What does a candidate, what happens in an interview process? ये 3 sections all important है. And if you are able to justify these 3, done. What is the interviewer's objective? First, can you do the job? Can talks about your ability. Can talks about your ability. Second, will you do the job? It talks about your willingness, your attitude, right? And the last one, will you fit in?
Adaptability.
Yes, अगर ये तीनों parameters you can prove out, you can justify, then I think so you have an offer in hand. But again, these 3 things, entire interview revolves around these 3 parameters. So try and judge it from that perspective. Always interview देने से पहले think from HR's perspective. What can be the probable questions? What is it that he can react as? What can be the probable questions he can ask? Or there's no harm in judging it from the other person's perspective, right? Should I go ahead and brief in detail? Or do you want all the questionnaire round to be handled? How do you want? In details?
If you can briefly explain each and every aspect so that throw some light on it.
As when we say what happens in an interview, we already discussed these are the parameters what interviewer or the HR looks at, and your objective is yes I can and yes I will. If we can prove that, good enough, right? What can be the objectives? First one, an opportunity to assess you and determine your suitability for the job. A means of assessing your abilities, skill, interest and motivation towards the job. Your objective to tell them. If you will not tell them, they will not get to know of themselves, right? And why should you get the job? Very important question. They will definitely ask you, why should we hire you? And when they ask you, then it automatically means that you have to market yourself. How well you market yourself, it entirely depends on that particular answer. When I say pre-preparation, you have to be very clear about career planning. That can be industry preferences and areas of interest. 5 golden rules. Rule number 1, know yourself. And we always suggest a candidate to write an essay. Write an essay. An essay can be, essay का title सिर्फ एक होगा, me, my and I, right? If you can write an essay, write things about yourself, then I think so before going in for an interview, you know yourself very well and you can handle each and every question related to you. So try and write an essay. 8, 10, 20, जितना पढ़ने के लिए सीखो. But try and identify yourself that what have you done in recent past or right from schooling, because it gives you a clear overview about yourself. I think so many people today, if you talk about big motivators, they say that today people don't know themselves and that is why they face problems in judging others, right? So first is thing that you should know yourself. Next, self-awareness. You can definitely highlight your strengths, your talents, your weaknesses. Weaknesses कभी इंटरव्यू में अपने आप बतानी चाहिए?
No.
Yes, no.
No.
Can we include weaknesses when it comes to how to introduce yourself?
No.
Yes, sir. It depends.
It depends. When you are introducing yourself,
Never.
give a brief about yourself. Should you include weakness?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yes?
No.
देख, इसका सिंपल सा लॉजिक है that अगर weakness आप अपने आप बताते हो, देखो everybody has a weakness, that is very clear. लेकिन अगर हम उसको माइक लगा के बताएंगे, definitely there is a problem. But when it is being asked, अगर पूछी जाए, तो first thing you should tell. बिल्कुल बतानी चाहिए, but weakness के साथ ये जरूर बताना चाहिए. What are you doing to overcome from it? If you are not telling that, that means you are not doing something to improve, right? So you should always define what are you doing to overcome from it. Next, rating on success skills, that can be communication and presentation. How you have been in these areas, leadership and teamwork, and creativity. These are the parameters on which you can assess yourself. Next,